Production support for the weekly special is provided by IU School of Public Health Bloomington, addressing public health needs by preventing disease, promoting health, and improving quality of life across the state and around the world through research, teaching, and community engagement. The Al Cobain Recognition Endowment Fund, established by friends and family of Al Cobain to support jazz initiatives on WTIU and WFIU. And WTIU members, thank you. For hundreds, even thousands of years, the land that is now Indiana has been shaped by transportation. Journey with ancient ancestors, discover how modern inventions changed cityscapes in a new memory chain. Travel to Knightstown, Indiana, home of the famous Hoosier's Gym. And meet a young musician with an old soul, singer-songwriter Lily Meister. So stay tuned for the stories that will shape your own Indiana perspective right now on the Weekly Special. Welcome to the Weekly Special. I'm Erica Sagone. Walking familiar paths or driving routine roads, it's easy to forget how many Hoosiers have come before us, traveling along the exact same paths centuries ago. And as our next story proves, you never know what may lie just beneath your own feet.
Okay, right now we're starting into the lower levels of the caverns, and this is where the water constantly flows. And while it's flowing along down here in the underground river, it's slowly, little by little, dissolving away at the limestone, enlarging the passage year by year, although not enough that you'd notice it if you sat down here for 10 years. It is a river cave, so the passages we're following are totally carved by the flowing water. Geologists tell us that these underground passages began forming about 1 million years ago. That's when the first tiny little trickles of water flowed through the cracks of the limestone, enlarged over the last 1 million years, and eventually reached the size that we see today. If you look back in the history books from the late 1800s, they mentioned going into the caverns, and we assume at that time they were coming in from the river entrance, where the underground river in the caverns here actually joins the outside. The entrance that we use today opened up overnight after a heavy rain. The bottom dropped out of a sinkhole and appeared a large hole leading down into this large passage here. And that's when the modern day history of Blue Springs Cavern started.
It took the curiosity of local spelunkers like Jim to rediscover and map much of Blue Springs Caverns.
I started going in this particular cave in 1961. We spent a number of years exploring and caught the bug to see what we could do as far as making it possible for the public to come and see it. This was the cave that we first explored and discovered lots and lots of passages that no one had ever seen before, so it kind of transferred to this is where we had our greatest interest. In 1974, we opened up the cave for tours to the public. As the main person involved with setting the whole thing up to begin with, this has kind of fell to me to stay here. So I've been here ever since.
Step by step, the cave was carefully readied for the public, becoming one of 4 developed locations on Indiana's Cave Trail.
Cave development is really kind of a painful process. You can't go out and hire a contractor to come and do it. So all the work with putting in the trails, installing the lights, all that we do ourselves. Well, typically, underground rivers like this can be found in a lot of different situations, but it's rare to have this much deep water. It's probably the longest navigable underground river in the country. There's a little bit over 3 miles of passage that you can follow by boat. And then there are a bit over 17 miles of tributary stream passages that feed into the main river, just like creeks would feed into a river on the surface.
Through Jim's tireless effort, the cave has been transformed into an award-winning adventure destination, offering boat tours and even overnight spelunking.
We've been doing our overnight adventure for almost 40 years now, and it's a program uniquely set up for youth groups ages 9 through 16. When they come down to the caverns, we take them on a boat trip up the river. They get to do a special trip off trail where they have helmets and lights and go into the undeveloped sections of the cave and do a bit of crawling, a bit of climbing, get very dirty. It's a way of introducing the youth to what's going on underground, to experience things that you won't see and won't experience sitting at home in your living room or watching TV, where you actually get into the environment and see it with your own eyes.
It's no wonder why Blue Spring has become a favorite destination, no matter the season.
If you'd like more information on how you can experience the caverns, visit their website at bluespringcaverns.com.
Well, just as advances in transportation carved the natural landscape of the Kankakee River, so too did they change the cityscapes across industrial Indiana.
It may seem incredible now, considering how differently they each influence daily life, but there was a point in time when bicycles and motor vehicles left the starting line at roughly the same speed. In 1885, the chain-driven safety bicycle was introduced, just a couple months and a few hundred miles from an early prototype of an automobile with a gasoline-fueled internal combustion engine. Initially, the top speed of 2 wheels powered by legs and 4 wheels powered by pistons was roughly the same. It was a threshold that still allowed riders and drivers to notice and experience their surroundings. For a couple decades at least, it wasn't how fast one could go or how quickly one could get there, but rather all that happened along the way. One day in May, a group of cyclists came together in Terre Haute, Indiana. A very diverse group of individuals, some with their arms and handlebars entwined. We're at 1922, a time when the legs of humans and horses were still relied upon for much of the daily transportation around America. At the beginning of the decade, in fact, there were twice as many horses as motor vehicles in Indiana. Within 10 years, those proportions would be reversed, with no looking back. In 1922, this group could find encouragement from a development being planned for their hometown. The nationally renowned architect George Kessler had proposed a 30-mile-long boulevard that would encircle their rapidly growing city. This is the only remaining sketch of his vision. A grand paved thoroughfare with a canopy of broad leafy trees. Every few miles, parklands and natural vistas suitable for picnicking or painting. Forest Park, Fairbanks Park, Highland Lawn Cemetery, the waterworks, and the banks of the Wabash not so far away. Ideal for an outing you could take by bicycle on a lovely spring day. Exactly what this group was planning when they posed for this photograph on that Saturday in May. George Kessler's vision was never realized, in part because of what Kessler himself was unable to see. His ratio of traffic along his proposed boulevard envisioned 4 cars, 4 pedestrians, and 2 horses. The legs outnumber the engines 4-to-1. No bicycles pictured, but no worries here. As anyone in this group would have told you, I like those odds just fine.
It's incredible to imagine what the city might have looked like today. But faster transit has certainly made it easier to explore your neighboring communities. And Jessica Nunemaker is here to share a suggestion.
Just over 2,000 people call Knightstown, Indiana home. The small downtown is adorable. It makes a nice day trip kind of destination all on its own. But it is the 1986 movie, Hoosiers, that made it famous. The Hoosier Gym, also located downtown, set the scene for the film with its 1950s style. Yes, the gym has been mostly untouched since the 1950s. Well taken care of, it is a community center and a popular event venue. Browse the movie memorabilia in the lobby, walk into the locker room where many movie scenes were filmed, and shoot some hoops before you leave. Back in 1921, the community raised funds to build a gym. In order to help pay for the costs associated with having a large space, they had professional basketball teams and college players to form their own local teams. In 1932, funds from the WPA, the Federal Works Progress Administration, were used for additions, including the basement locker rooms. In 1966, the gym was closed. The gym sat until something wonderful happened, the 1985 filming of the movie Hoosiers. Released in 1986, it brought the gym back into the limelight. To see the gym really hopping, pop in during the annual Hoosiers Reunion All-Star Classic, a doubleheader composed of the top Indiana high school seniors. But if shopping is more your speed, take a look at glass-covered antiques. There are 5,000 square feet of vendor booths to sort through. It is easy to navigate, which is no easy feat with all the nooks and crannies in this shop. Vintage book lovers will especially love it. It isn't the only great place to browse. You can find gift items and fresh flowers at the Ivy Wreath Floral and Gifts. It is a wonderful place to browse. During our visit, a magician was there shopping. I guess maybe everyone finds it a bit magical. Don't miss the homemade food at Knightstown Diner. Not only do they have some of the best homemade fries in the entire state, and I should know, but they serve up a perfect pork tenderloin sandwich. Portions are big, but try to save some room. That dessert case is always full of freshly prepared treats. We saw 4 kinds of pies on our visit in addition to other sweet offerings. You will not leave hungry. What a great place to spend the day. Read more about Knightstown, Indiana at www.littleindiana.com. Small towns, destinations, not drive-thrus. I'm Jessica Nunemaker, and this is Little Indiana.
What a perfect town to visit at the start of basketball season across the state. And Knightstown is not the only Indiana city with a surprising basketball connection. The Detroit Pistons are, in fact, Hoosiers at heart. Don Graham may just be the world's biggest Pistons fan.
I was always a sports fan, always a nut for sports.
You're probably picturing professional basketball right now, and you'd be correct. But if you're picturing Detroit, you're looking a little too far north. The Detroit Pistons actually began life in Fort Wayne, Indiana as the Zollner Pistons. The team was named after industrialist Fred Zollner, who, not surprisingly, made his fortune making pistons. And it was the Zollner Pistons that thrilled Don as a kid.
We had a 4-model Philco radio in the living room. Nobody else in the family seemed to be all that interested, but I would listen to them on the radio whenever I could.
And the Pistons had some legendary games, including one record-setting win against the Lakers.
Back then, Minneapolis Lakers was the powerhouse of the league. So Fort Wayne figured there's one way maybe we can beat them, and they stalled. In the final period, they were a point behind, 18-17. Larry Faust took an inbounds pass, took a 25-foot shot. He just banked it off the backboard and went in. 3 seconds left. Pistons won 19-18. And it's gone down in history as the lowest scoring game ever, and still is today.
For years, the team played at Fort Wayne's Northside High School gym, which only held about 3,000 people.
It was so compact. The stands and the fans were sitting almost down on the floor.
Not that that was a bad thing.
When you got to the Coliseum, it was just kind of wide open, and you're sitting way back, and took something away from it. I don't know. That was built mostly because of the Pistons and moved the Pistons into a bigger arena, draw bigger crowds. As it turned out, it didn't draw bigger crowds. And that's one of the reasons Fred moved the team to Detroit after the 1957 season.
And after the move to Detroit, some Fort Wayne residents forgot about their NBA past, but not Don. So about 25 years ago, he began collecting all things Pistons.
I don't know which was the first piece I bought. It might have been a program. But I got started, and it's like, once you get started, it's Katie by the door, because it's just not going to stop. I've done a lot of auctions, been to a lot of antique shops looking for this stuff. Probably at least 3/4 of the stuff that ever existed is gone. It's unbelievable how much stuff gets pitched. But it's also amazing how much stuff is still out there.
He's collected programs, ticket stubs, and lots of photos, all neatly organized in 3-ring binders. Eventually, word of Don's collection made it to the folks at the Allen County Library. So now, every Tuesday and Friday, Don sits at his computer, scanning and cataloging, preserving history, and developing a fan base of his own.
Don's my idol. I mean, Don is lucky enough to have had a lifetime hobby that he's been able to do even more with after he retired. It's going to be a tremendous gift to the community, what he's doing, and he loves it. I mean, he just absolutely loves it.
Soon, Don's gift will be available for all to enjoy, both electronically and in beautiful hardbound volumes that will be stored at the library. But for Don Graham, it's simply his hobby and a true labor of love.
I don't have a clue what I've got wrapped up in it. And it doesn't matter. I mean, it's none of it's for sale. It belongs in Fort Wayne. It's part of Fort Wayne's history, sports history. So it belongs in Fort Wayne.
To read more about the Fort Wayne Pistons or to discover other Hoosier connections to famous teams, visit sportsteamhistory.com. Our next musical guest is making history in her own right. At just 15 years old, Lily Meister is already gaining attention for her insightful lyrics and original compositions.
I was 7 when I asked to play the guitar, and then I started singing when I was 10 and it ended up becoming my passion. A lot of time goes into my music. 2 hours a day to just writing. A lot of my music is a little deeper and sad. I realized that it's easiest to write about sad stuff because that's what I want to get out. Just situations where I'm feeling down about not being good enough or me not knowing exactly what I want to do or what I'm doing in the moment or my sanity, I guess. I like playing it because it's like my therapy. I can always go to music and it doesn't judge and it's always there for me. It's difficult because I'm still young. My parents and all my families, they listen to my music. If it's really dark and personal, they worry about me sometimes because they care. And it's hard sometimes to perform stuff that's really personal because you're telling the world your problems and your issues. Over the summer, I played at an open mic night in Tootsie's, which is a bar in Nashville, Tennessee. I finished my first song, and the owner came in and asked me to play more songs. And I asked if I could play an original, and he's like, well, this is Nashville, people want to hear country, but people in the crowd wanted to hear my original stuff. After I played, he told me that he was interested in hooking me up with a songwriter and having him help me with my own songs. His name is Don Goodman, and he's a songwriter from Nashville who has written for Dolly Parton, Blake Shelton. He had a lot of advice for me as far as writing goes. He just really inspired me to write more than I already was. He wanted to push me harder and to inspire me to keep writing and be myself. I feel like the biggest challenge as a young musician has probably been that people underestimate me. I would suggest to other young musicians to not underestimate themselves and to not let your age stop you from doing anything, and that you're just as capable as somebody who's much older than you to write and to sing and play the guitar, perform, whatever you want to do. My goal as an artist would be to affect people with my music and to help people who might be having problems, because I turn to music when I need help, and I'd hope that eventually people might turn to my music for help. I wouldn't really say it's made me grow up any faster. I feel like if anything, it's made me appreciate growing up and changing and evolving and that's been documenting me. So it's really cool to look back at me like a couple years ago and see what I was writing about. I feel like I need it more than want it. I know that I'll always be able to go to music and that it'll always be there for me. It's just something that I thoroughly enjoy, and it doesn't really ever feel like something that I'll ever want to leave.
And now, Lily Meister.
Quiet night in a quiet town. Don't you dare make a single sound. The stars look like they're falling down. The moon is so pretty when it's big and round. A bloodhound screams in their dead overnight. Do you hear that? 'Cause I hear it too. Don't tell me things that are not true. I'm so gullible when it comes to you, and I wanna believe everything is true, but I know it's not, 'cause everything seems to end. We painted our dreams, we know it never come true. It's sad to think I thought I could depend on you. I told you too much, then you just ran away. Take it from me, that was not a mistake. Don't tell me things that are not true. I'm so gullible when it comes to you, and I wanna believe everything is true, but I know it's not, 'cause everything seems to end. Everything, it seems to end. Dripping letters on the walls. Our love has died, and so have we. I think it's time we leave each other be. Don't tell me things that are not true. I'm so gullible when it comes to you, and I wanna believe everything is true, but I know it's not, 'cause everything seems to. Don't tell me things that are not true. I'm so gullible when it comes to you, and I wanna believe everything is true, but I know it's not, 'cause everything seems to end. Everything, it seems to end.
To hear more of Lily's original compositions or to get the latest listing of upcoming performances, visit lilymeistermusic.com. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight, and we sure hope you have enjoyed hearing these fantastic Hoosier stories. One more time before we go, Lily Meister. Good night.
Day fades to night, night fades to day. Gray turns to black, black turns to gray. Tired becomes sad, sad becomes tired of this world. All of the colors are gone.
Production support for the weekly special is provided by IU School of Public Health Bloomington, addressing public health needs by preventing disease, promoting health, and improving quality of life across the state and around the world through research, teaching, and community engagement. The Al Cobain Recognition Endowment Fund, established by friends and family of Al Cobain to support jazz initiatives on WTIU and WFIU. And WTIU members, thank you.